I've been seeing a lot of comments on my latest videos saying this guy's clearly a racist. So let's address it. Am I a racist? I'd say maybe, yeah, I might be. But let's run through it.
You know, I've been thinking about Elliot Rogers recently. Elliot Rogers was an incel, or an involuntary celibate. Elliot Rogers made a lot of videos about how he just wasn't getting laid. And he even said that it was to the point to where he felt it was unfair. He felt like a sense of entitlement when he made those videos. He felt like there was a grave injustice happening to him, and these were his feelings, sure, but he enacted revenge. He killed people.
Could Elliot Rodger have been stopped if only someone had all the pieces warning he had finally snapped?
Well, this is my last video.
And just a few weeks ago, sheriff's deputies came to his door because his parents were worried about his increasingly disturbing videos. Police say they did not see any reason to hold him.
It's not against the law to say inappropriate things. It's against the law to act on them.
And to me, while that is a hardcore L move on Elliot Rogers' part, people paid the cost for that with their own lives, unfortunately. And as we're seeing these kinds of incestuous attacks happening all over the United States of America, we're not seeing really much of a preventative measure. I just feel like that there needs to be something to be done about it, you know what I mean? And look, I may not have the answer for how to prevent something like that. Police aren't going to be able to prevent it. The police will just show up when there's a report on the matter.
Say the line, FBI!
He was on our radar.
But it's really sad, because if the police, who society entrusts with a monopoly of violence, if they can't handle such a phenomenon that is reoccurring in our society, and we're seeing no positive changes within this field, then how can we make those changes? I think at least asking that question is the first step to coming to a solution. While I may not be the hero in this story, I don't want to be the hero, I just kind of want these shootings to fucking stop. I think highlighting when someone in particular is showing warning signs, similar to Elliot Rogers, it may be a good opportunity for us to, well, I don't know, alert the fucking community. And so that's what this video is for. This video is gonna put a microscope on one individual, but I want more videos like this to show up. I want more people to look at individuals who they find so problematic, not just hateful, but showing actual warning signs of potential stochastic terrorism to be brewing in the future.
Whoa, hold on there. I just said a big word. Let's define it. Stochastic terrorism is the public demonization of a person or group resulting in the incitement of a violent act which is statistically probable, but whose specifics cannot be predicted. The reason why we're talking about Elliot Rogers at the beginning of the video is because his story is an example of stochastic terrorism in that unpredictable element, but it's also rooted in his misogyny. Not to defend him, but the fact that Elliot Rogers was never given any kind of developmental skills on how to talk to women or any potential loved one in any kind of healthy or socially constructive way It tells us that while his violence is holistically his and uniquely his own responsibility, we don't have anything in place that teaches people like Elliot Rodgers that what they do and how they handle people in their daily lives is inappropriate and leads to death.
Now, I just want to say one thing real quick. Usually people go after the big cheese. Usually people with millions of subscribers or whatever. And of course, people with millions of subscribers tend to have problematic aspects of them. And all of that is absolutely worth going after. Holding them accountable, especially in light of their popularity on social media, is extremely important and should not be downplayed even in the slightest. But what I want to say here with that is that this person is very small on the platform. This person doesn't have a huge reach on the platform yet. We really shouldn't have to wait until he does before we call him out, because he may be one individual who may just have a very small reach in expressing his bigotry and hatred, but so did Elliot Rodger. Elliot Rodger is not literally PewDiePie, and so that's what we're doing today.
So this is called Maxwell Jacob Freedom. Let's just assume this person's name is Maxwell Jacob. The word freedom is meaningless. The word freedom here has nothing to do with actual freedom, liberty, justice for all, or any sense of like any kind of fight for autonomy. Do you even think that this man even like knows what the word autonomy means? I don't think so. And maybe I'm wrong. So what's this person about anyway? Made this channel after getting my ankle broke by a emoji. Wait, an emoji broke your fucking ankle? Well, the emoji here, this little emoji, should have broke your ankle more. Obviously, they're making a statement here, and it's not apologetic at all. Like, the only other way that we could assume that they are not being racist is by assuming that they got their ankle broke by an emoji. Well, if that's the case, Maxwell Jacob, then that means white people, like yourself, are not genetically superior. There's a reason why I'm making this video, and that is because I believe this man is going to commit a mass shooting in the future. Is very likely to be on the radar of law enforcement and the FBI and all that. They're not going to prevent him from any of that. They're not going to prevent it from happening. After all, police solve literally like 2% of crime, which is a pretty poor batting average, as we know. Let's take a look at this one.
So Brianna Gray died, and all of the leftists are trying to make you concerned that a dude in the dress died.
So for those who don't know who Brianna Gay is a trans woman who is 16 years old and was stabbed to death in broad daylight in a park. This happened by her classmates, and regardless of the intentions or the motives, this is after a long slew of other transgender teenagers dying this year in 2023, including several other children. Katie Newhouse, Ariana Mitchell, Jeffrey Bright, Jasmine Kanadi. All of these teenagers have died this year, and what they all have in common is that they are transgender. And right now, it is close to the end of fucking February.
And the world is better with less of you, let's be honest.
Remember when he says this, when transphobes like him say that they are concerned that the absurd notion that trans people are grooming children just for existing and having accessible gender-affirming healthcare. Remember this line. I will play it repeatedly throughout this video just to reaffirm exactly the double standard at play here.
I may not agree with this transgender stuff going on, but wow, dude, that's messed up. That is a human life that was murdered. No life should be taken away just because someone chooses to live a different way than others.
Exactly. She was a baby, only 16.
Wow, even other transphobes don't like this guy.
And that's because he's saying the quiet part out loud.
The reason why this is crucial that you take note of this is because this person makes a lot of accusations against the LGBTQ+ community, how we are all the Catholic Church has been said by Matt Walsh to be taken over by gays and left.
Okay, the problem isn't Unlike what we're told and what you hear in the media about all the so-called priests and so on, the problem is not the problem is gay priests.
No, they actually, and I'm talking about the Catholic Church here, they actually rally the hardest against transgender kids and transgender people and our right to exist. They rally the hardest for anti-LGBTQ plus legislation, and not to mention abortion. They are extremely against abortion.
Oh, and it needs to be said, but yes, it is. The problem is in the Catholic Church.
Problem isn't
what you are doing by saying that it's not and that it is homosexuality. You are perpetuating the ongoing stereotype that homosexuality is a sin, and you are further not addressing as a constant problem that is systemic.
Problem isn't
the reason why there is such a rampant case of within the Catholic Church stemming back to the 1940s and probably further back is because they are a hierarchy, and it's hard to question things when there is such a coercive hierarchy, and plus the hierarchy in question goes all the way back to way before the 1940s.
Problem isn't
Oh, and let's just address this real quick before we continue. If the Catholic Church has a homosexuality problem and not a problem, I was by a woman. So now you have to answer the age-old question, Matt Walsh. If I'm not a woman, and if I was by a woman, then dun 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 dun.
The conversation around trans people is that we're kids. That's the claim. But this person just is glad that a transgender child is dead.
And the world is better with less of you. Let's be honest.
That's a pretty bad start.
Guys, feminism is not working.
This is a sweeping generalization, as in feminism not working kind of implies that all aspects of feminist theory and praxis, as well as culture for that matter, definitely is not working. We don't know what he means by this, but I also cut him off real early.
But if you ask all the feminists, they're doing great.
Things are not going well for women's rights and more specifically abortion access. But I think we're gonna see what he means in a second.
Guys, I used to open doors for women because I wanted to impress them. I wanted to be a better man. Now, I see women and I think about ways I could get away with murdering them.
I literally was not kidding earlier when I said that this person was gonna be the next mass shooter. You think I was just jumping the gun and trying to make it sound hyper sensational? No, I'm making this video as a fucking warning to people. You need to make sure that this person is watched by your community, because again, the police are not gonna do jack shit.
That's how you know feminism isn't working.
That is not what feminism is. You holding the door for women is not feminism. And most importantly, it's not what feminists even want from you. In fact, I would say from a feminist perspective, you holding a door for a woman kind of implies that there are conditions and strings attached to it. What I think has been happening with this fellow here is that he's been holding doors open for women with the expectation that they're just gonna get on their knees and start sucking his dick like a baby bottle. But that hasn't been happening. He's just mad that he spent thousands and thousands of dollars on Andrew Tate's fucking Hustler University and he hasn't been getting the output that he has desired.
But I guess as long as you can put a couple guys in dresses, that's the goal, right?
Yeah, somehow it's my fault that you can't get pussy. I made a video last week about incels. You should go check that out. Link in the description.
Yeah, this person doesn't even remotely understand what feminism is. Kind of just sees things in the context of some terminally online bullshit. Anyway, I'm sure that you're gonna take offense to the word white supremacy when we go through this, just because it's not a word that you're used to being called when you're so fucking racist.
Everything that happens to the black community is the white community's fault.
Wait a minute, for real? I didn't know that. Well, thanks for enlightening me. Now I know that is the white community's fault. But that's not white privilege. White privilege is a lot more complicated than that.
LeBron James makes fucking millions of dollars, almost a billionaire based off of his sneaker deals, and it's still white person's fault that he can't succeed.
LeBron James is extremely successful, more successful than you or me for that matter. But LeBron James is not every black person.
Because of his basketball superstardom, LeBron has had the opportunity to be very influential off the court as well. He has used his platform to promote causes like Black Lives Matter, build a school, and even promote political figures running for office.
He is teaching you, just like your parents, to be losers.
LeBron James is not teaching black people to be losers. Let's hear it from the horse's mouth himself.
Because I was so institutionalized growing up in the hood, it's like they don't fuck with us. They don't want us to succeed. The hierarchy, and then we're here. Like, matter of fact, we're underneath this chair. So I'm like, I'm going to this school to play ball, and that's it.
And for my next trick, I'm gonna play the important part again in case the cognitive dissonance is blocking your fucking brain.
They don't want us to succeed. The hierarchy, and then we're here. Like, matter of fact, we're underneath this chair. The hierarchy, and then we're here. Like, matter of fact, we're underneath this chair. The hierarchy. The hierarchy. The hierarchy.
He is teaching you, just like your parents, to be losers.
Now, look, I'm actually a fan of LeBron James, mainly because he was in the Lakers, and I am from the Los Angeles area. Not to mention, where I'm from, basketball is kind of a big fucking deal. But I can assure you that the people who are fans of the Lakers, and by extension basketball teams, are not trying to become losers. When I was going to school, I used to know this kid named Jiro, who was so inspired by the Lakers. He practiced every single fucking day, at every waking hour. If he wasn't with his schoolwork, eating, sleeping, what have you, he was on the court practicing. And my God, as I watched him grow up over the years, he got better. I'm surprised he's not in the Lakers right now. And personally, even though I'm not as passionately invested into the Lakers as Jiro was, I am kind of offended that you would even insinuate that LeBron James wants his fans to become losers. That is laughably untrue to the most absurd degree. And even off the court, LeBron James is right. There is a hierarchical system that is racism that still exists today. Of course, you don't experience it because you weren't the one who was expropriated by slave owners. You weren't on the receiving end of Jim Crow. White people weren't on the receiving end of so much police brutality throughout the 60s that they had to create a nationwide coalition of people to create a fucking pig patrol. Speaking of pig patrol, it was white people, especially Republicans, who were passing gun control laws because the Black Panthers were arming themselves en masse to protect themselves from police brutality. Even the National Rifle Association was behind that notion. Give me a fucking break. There's a lot of talk in recent years, especially in legislative form, about how America is getting so woke these days. Maybe that's a good thing, because what LeBron James is doing by highlighting this hierarchy in the first place is exactly what you are accusing him of, and it is absolutely insulting, especially coming from a white person like yourself, to say that he wants black kids to be losers. Doesn't seem like you give too much of a shit about what black people think, though.
Because I was so institutionalized.
You're all fucking losers. And you wanted me to pick you up? Well, guess what? I was friends with you motherfuckers until I realized you were a bunch of bums.
Just because you can't get along with other black people doesn't mean other black people are losers. My friend, that's a you problem, not a them problem. If there is a definition for entitlement, you are the mascot.
Now you can't even go out in public without hearing a motherfucker whine about his problems.
Also, a good way to indicate white privilege to you is that you are a white man and you can make videos about dead teenage trans people and the desire for killing women because you don't get pussy.
Now you can't even go out in public without hearing a motherfucker whine about his problems.
And the cops are not going to come after you because you are a protected white man who are drinking buddies with probably some fellow police officers too.
Because you guys are fixing shit? What has been fixed by Democrats? What has been fixed by your local liberal man with fucking blue hair?
Yeah, that was pretty rough, wasn't it? So what about this one? Keep liberals away from kids.
So I'm looking in the comments of one of Tim Pool's video.
Put a fucking shirt on, dude. You wonder why you don't get pussy? For real?
And I see this guy named Garanthal. And I'll put his channel name in the thumbnail so you guys can see that this isn't a joke. These people really exist. He's talking about he's happy that Tim's gonna get canceled like Alex Jones got canceled.
I just find it hilarious that this person needed to clarify that somebody who is happy that Tim Pool is getting canceled is real. Like, as if that's some kind of mystical creature or something.
And it's fine, you can have an opinion. So you click on his name, you go to his channel, and he's opening up Pokemon cards. So it begins to unravel. I watched the whole video. Throughout the video, first of all, he's got like 10 views. So this is some loser. He's like 30 years old like me. He's collecting Pokemon cards, which is fine. But no one's watching you, my guy.
You're watching him. You're the one who gave him comments. You gave him engagement. Also, why is every loser a Biden supporter? Just curious. Well, I don't really support Biden, but Biden won the election, and the Confederates lost the Civil War.
So it's like these people that feel like they deserve... Why when I spend $10 and I open up a pack of Pokemon cards, why does no one watch me?
Because you haven't done videos opening Pokemon cards. Big brain moment for you right there.
Because no one gives a fuck, bro. We can all go buy a pack of Pokemon cards, you fucking weirdo. But in this fucking video, he talks about how he teaches 6th graders. So it begins to unravel more. And I'm just thinking, this dude teaches 6th graders? And he's opening Pokemon cards? It's almost like he wants to hang out with the 6th graders because they didn't like him in school.
He hangs out with 6th graders because he's a 6th grade teacher. Did you ever even make it to the 6th grade? Are you smarter than a 5th grader? Don't lie, no you didn't.
So now he gets the opportunity because he can force him to because he's a teacher. And then by the end of the video, in the same video he talked about teaching 6th graders, by the end he's making a joke about jacking off while he's looking at Pokemon cards.
Okay, I got a little curious, so let's watch this video in full.
We've got a nice old school art and rock and rolla. You can tell this is drawn by crayons. It was actually drawn by one of my 6th graders, Liam. And I will see you next time. I gotta go vigorously masturbate.
Kind of a fucked up way to end your video in poor taste, but there's no evidence that this person here is jacking off to the cards themselves or to any of the kids in his class. Yeah, that didn't fare much better for you. But what about this one? Being a rainbow flag is a crime.
Being gay is nothing more than a lifestyle for weak men.
And being straight is nothing more than a lifestyle for people who are too ashamed to admit that they're idiots and look at family
And you want some fucking evidence? How about the fact that you can say whatever the fuck you want about me as a conservative, but if I say the word gay, your entire community goes up in a tizzy and you want me canceled from the fucking internet?
Oh wait though, I am gay.
By the way, you're gay.
Yeah, he's right. I'm gay. That's like the least offensive thing you said.
And there's so many things about the left that applies to. It's gotten to the point where bringing up the fact that you guys like to have sex with kids, we're the bad ones. So Brianna Gray died,
And all of the leftists are trying to make you concerned that a dude in the dress died. Well, guess what? I don't care. This is what we're getting to. Do you not see it?
Yeah, is it not plainly obvious yet? Because, look, I know that some people in the comment section are gonna make some accusations that I'm giving a transphobe with a little amount of a fan base some clout. But this person is not really much of a content creator. This person is a viewer, a consumer more so than a content creator. He's trying to take the style of conservative media like Liberty Hangout and the Tim Pool podcast, and each of these medias utilize a fabrication of the truth on top of over sensationalizing their subject matters that they are dealing with in order to rile up an emotional reaction from their viewers. This person here is really bad at what he's doing, of course, given that he's using his cell phone camera to pretty much make really shitty, like on-the-cuff videos about topics that he is very bigoted about, hence the whole saying the quiet part out loud part of this video. But more importantly, what we need to understand when we look at this is that this person is more than likely going to be someone who will commit a shooting or murder someone. And who knows who he's gonna murder? It could be me, it could be someone in his life, it could be someone at a grocery store in your area, it could be someone at a Walmart, it could be someone at a school. And with the rise of mass shootings that are still going on today, I mean, just the other day, there was literally a mass shooting in Michigan and in El Paso, Texas on the same fucking day. And by the way, this is not at all a defense for a gun control or gun ban of any kind here, but there's a reason why men like him shouldn't have a fucking gun.
Every single gay person, every one of them, will tell you that it's hard for them to live their lives. Yeah, imagine. Because there's people all over the world who are homophobes and aren't comfortable with them living their life. But then you look at my video talking about how I think it's disgusting. Bisexual men, how they stick their dick in poop.
Because men like him view guns as a fucking toy. Guns are not a toy, and guns are not for enacting revenge. And that's what I was saying earlier, that this guy has so much white privilege, and the police aren't going to be able to have a preventative measure for that. This guy swims in a pool of double standard. Hey, speaking of which...
Oh, wait a minute. Yo, you got a video about double standards?
Because I'm not a woman hater or anything. I have a girlfriend.
Bro, no you don't. Especially with the videos you've been making.
She's beautiful. What I want there to be is an even playing field. I don't want the people that get blamed all day, me, to not have a voice. It doesn't make any sense.
You know what? Y'all have more of a voice than any of us here. Especially us trans people, let alone cis women for that matter, who also have less of a voice than your fucking gross ass, booger ass fuckface. Seriously, your voice is actually heard by more people than anyone ever. Especially all of the people that you follow, mainly cisgender straight white men like yourself, who speak about women and trans issues, but we mainly get their perspective when we watch their content. You don't get the trans or women's perspective when we watch their content. That is so fucking laughable that you are saying that you are being silenced. Holy fucking shit. The world would be drastically different if you were being silenced to the rate that we were. Give me a fucking break.
You blame us for everything, but you don't give a fuck about me.
You know what? That's been the whole thing with this entire video. This man here has been bitching non-stop about other people complaining about their problems, how other people go through some serious grievances sometimes in his presence, and he just doesn't want to fucking hear it. while he just fucking bitches about women not paying attention to him.
Now you can't even go out in public without hearing a motherfucker whine about his problems.
Bro, if you really had a girlfriend, I promise you, you would have not made this video. Also, why are you whispering this? Because if you have a girlfriend and if you had to make this video because you genuinely felt this way, then that means you have to hide the fact that you do not feel confident in the presence of your girlfriend. And that's kind of very sad, really, because your girlfriend may want you to be vulnerable around her. And more importantly, your girlfriend would want to probably know if you're dealing with some grievances like this. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna drop a truth bomb on you. Don't say that girls don't want you to be vulnerable around them. Most of us do. It's these millionaire scam artists like Andrew Tate who are telling you to have no emotional vulnerability around women. And this is why you have pitiful ass videos like this.
How can I be causing all of the problems if you're trying to remove me from society?
This guy sounds like a fucking cartoon character, or like Adam Sandler if he believed in the white genocide conspiracy theory.
How can there be white supremacy if they're trying to kill all the white people? Don't you know? I heard Jared Taylor tell me this shit. I can't fucking wrap my head around the fact that this may not be true after all.
Woman.
Yeah, that tone says it all. You're literally fucking bitching, whining, and complaining and crying to the fucking camera all day long, every fucking day, every fucking video, telling your audience that white people or men are just swimming into a pool of degeneracy or just dying off or whatever, and here you are just making a command to women. No, woman. Which means that if you do have a girlfriend, your girlfriend would make her appearance right now. Let's see what happens.
I beg you. Just look at yourselves. To anyone that subbed to me that's a woman, I love you, I love everyone. Just please, don't have a double standard.
And you don't? We spent literally a half an hour going over your double standards, and you don't have any of them? What a fucking loser. Don't let me catch you with purple hair. Don't let me catch you with a fucking gun.
There's two primary things I need to say. One is that I don't want people going to his channel and harassing him saying, oh, you're evil, you're a bigot. This problem that I'm highlighting is a lot bigger than just his bigotry. He has expressed interest in actually killing people on his channel. Unabashedly so.
I used to open doors for women because I wanted to impress them. I wanted to be a better man. Now, I see women and I think about ways I could get away with murdering them.
Even if we were to get his channel nuked, it doesn't erase him. He's still someone who could do what Elliot Rodger did. To me, personally, I find that to be worrying, extremely so. And as we have talked about throughout the rest of this video, it's not illegal to just say things. It's illegal to do things.
It's not against the law to say inappropriate things. It's against the law to act on them.
So if he is expressing his desire to kill women, I highly doubt law enforcement are going to take such a threat seriously, because they haven't really been taking threats seriously at all when it comes to shootings, let alone any kind of threat from a reactionary like him.
And I know some bad faith devil's advocate wannabe will be in the comment section saying, oh, well, this was a joke, you took this way too seriously. Well, in that case, alright, fine. Then this video that you're watching was a joke. I was just kidding this entire time. You're taking my video way too seriously. You watched to the end of the video. You took my video way too seriously. Two can play at that game.
So I advocate for instead is that if anyone in my audience recognizes this man within their local community, make sure you put some fucking posters up. Make sure people know who he is, what he's up to, try to find out if he has a job, and if he does have a job, make sure the guy gets fired. Because a lot of times what people don't tend to understand is that bozos like him are pretty much fascists on the weekend. So they'll work 5 days a week, get an income, stockpile, and then show up to whatever fucking fascist bozo rodeo that they're gonna do on the weekend. Whether it be January 6th or showing up to a drag story time event, they will be there on the weekend just to intimidate others and then go back to work the next day. So it's very important that we find out where he works if he has a job at all. And putting posters around the area, in particular, if you do find out where this guy lives, is crucial, because then what you can do is put on the poster not only his worldviews, but how lethal of a fucking threat he is. And how you handle such a notification to your community, that's on you. That's not on me. Either way, there needs to be a direct defense from fuckers like him. There need to be structures in place to protect people who are marginalized from little fuckwads like him. I want to say something directly to you, Maxwell Jacobs. You're probably just gonna say this is a dude in a dress and you got really sweaty ass long hair, because I just took a shower and honestly, I don't think you ever have. I know you got like a whole playbook of horrible things you say to queer and trans people, especially trans women for that matter, but if we lead by example here, you're not doing much better. You don't have a girlfriend, stop pretending you do. If you did have a girlfriend, these videos would not exist. You make these videos because you have a vendetta, and you gotta admit, homie, this ain't fucking healthy. Not even a little bit. What I find really funny is that you talk about how upset everyone is and how everyone is out to get you and stuff like this.
Now you can't even go out in public without hearing a motherfucker whine about his problem.
I'm not even really here to cancel you, so to speak. I'm here to warn other people about you because you are fucking dangerous. And honestly, let's just say it how it is. Why are you so afraid of being canceled? You don't even have a big platform. I'm probably going to be giving you some audience retention, and I don't encourage people to give you audience retention, but I'm going to inexplicably so. I think what he's afraid of more so than being canceled is being held accountable. Maybe he's never had to be held accountable in his life. You know that if he had any semblance of accountability or even an understanding of what that even means, he would have a girlfriend. And I can tell you right now, buying into these fucking, personalities that are telling you that you're right and all the feminists are wrong and shit, it's not gonna fucking help you. It's not helping you right now. I know that what I'm about to say, it's a bit of a loaded statement. But you should seek help, like professional, medical, psychological help. I know that getting access to mental help is really hard in the United States. Therapy isn't really available for everyone, for that matter.
The word freedom is meaningless.
But as much as I strongly advise that you get mental help, I can't really get you mental help. You gotta do that part for yourself. You gotta be the one to make the call on your insurance company and say, hey, look, I need mental help. I am doing things that are self-destructive to myself. And I feel like if I don't address this soon, I could be at risk of harming other people. And listen, there's no shame in that, okay? It's okay to be emotionally vulnerable to people who you trust. But listen, if you can't get emotional and mental help, I have a suggestion. There's a YouTube channel I would like to personally recommend you. It's called Healthy Gamer GG. They are really cool. Although they are not to be taken as a substitute for emotional and mental professional help, they are very good with providing an open and accepting community of people like you who are struggling to be able to get along with other people in society, especially marginalized people like myself. There are people like incels, racists, homophobes, people like you. They are helping people like you.
So if you're struggling to get laid, we're going to talk a little bit about insecurities and not feeling confident in yourself as a virgin. And more importantly, how to practically apply that to like an action plan that will get you to where you want to go.
And they're doing it from an analytical standpoint, which means not only are you getting the benefit of watching a podcast, especially a live one at best, but you also get to have a really constructive dialogue with other people and yourself internally. While they're not perfect, they're a whole lot better than fucking goddamn Tim Pool. Anyway, I'm sweating bullets in here. It's really fucking hot in here. Take care.